I wouldn't change from that.
Ready?
Ready to roll.
All right. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the organizational meeting for the Alexander Local School District. We have roll call.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy.
Yes.
Yes. We have the please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I thought that was on the other agenda. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you. We have the adoption of the agenda, and I will make that motion.
Seconded.
Roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. I didn't see anybody signed up for public participation. So we have, it's recommended the Board of Education approve the enclosed fiscal year 2024 tax budget and submit it to the county auditor by January 15th, 2023.
Made.
Second.
Roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. Reorganization. We have the election of president, vice president of the board. Looking for nominations.
I'd like to ask you to do the president again.
I'll do it if you'll do vice president.
I wouldn't.
I'll turn it back on you.
That ain't fair. Sure.
I'll second both.
Any other nominations? All right, then I'll make a motion to close nominations. Need a second for the close of nominations.
Oh, yeah, second.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. So now we have roll for myself as president.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. Roll for Josh as vice president.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh.
Yep.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. Now we have appointment of a member of the board for the legislative liaison. Anybody want to volunteer? We're gonna. Aaron, you want to do it? You want to do the legislative part?
I think I was the last time.
You were the last time?
Yeah.
So, Jay or Lucy?
I'll do that or student. I don't, whichever one.
All right, then.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion that it's Lucy. Can I have a second?
You second.
All right. Roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. Now we have the appointment of the student achievement liaison. You want to try that one out?
I don't know what that is.
You learn this. You get different emails.
I get different emails.
When I was legislative liaison, I got a different set of emails from OSBA and whatnot. I never was.
Wasn't my
Student
responsibility though.
You're more looking for, it would be your job to keep, if there were any updates from the state, as far as that, keeping involved in those, kind of keeping your ear out on those things.
So the emails that I receive, communicating that with the board essentially,
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
hear
Yeah.
anything, yeah,
I can do that.
yep.
One of the nice things is you also get a hold, or get contacted by, I think it's Kim Smith, and just chances to talk about stuff that we do here, the student groups do here, and sometimes they'll raise it up to the state level newsletter, which I think we had Science Olympiad a couple years ago when I did that, and then they invited me to come up to the central conference to see the kids there too, so
Okay.
kind of neat.
I think I can do that.
Okay. So I'll make that motion.
Seconded.
Roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yep.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. Determination of the day and time for regular meetings. Currently, we are the second Wednesday of the month at 7 PM. And anybody looking for a change in that? Then I will make a motion to have it stay the second Wednesday of the month at 7 PM.
I'll
Second. Yeah.
Jay will second.
Roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. We have the adoption of the following resolution. May it be resolved that in the event that of the treasurer's absence from a meeting of the Board of Education, that the board will choose one of its members to serve as treasurer pro tempore for the duration of the meeting. I'll make that motion.
Seconded.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. Item F, we have the adoption of the following standing authorizations for 2023, and they're the standard authorizations, and so I will make that motion.
Second.
Roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. And just so there's no confusion, we have to adjourn this meeting and start the regular meeting, so I will make a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting.
Seconded.
Roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. All right.
Oh, no.
And now the meeting's over, thank you. All right. So I guess I'll say welcome again. All right, I'll welcome again now to the,
Hold on one second.
yep.
I don't know if you knew this existed. I found this in my office. There you go. Call to order.
It's dangerous.
I'm awake.
Oh,
You
right.
just, all you need to do is say welcome.
All right, well, that's the next thing. All right, we'll figure that one out as we go. But welcome to the January board meeting of Alexander Local School District. We'll have roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. We unfortunately had another member of our staff pass away, and had Tammy from the lunchroom, and she graciously has asked for donations to an account to help with school lunches. And I just asked that we take a moment of silence in her memory. Sorry. I thought it was. Our heads in for a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you. Is that coming through now? Can you hear me now? I mean, it's on. Can't hear me at all? Well, you can hear me, but it's not coming through the microphone. Can you hear me, Mark? You can hear me fine? Okay. All right, all right.
Speak up.
I'll just speak up here. All right. We have the adoption of the agenda, and I'll make that motion.
Seconded.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. First, reports and comments. Superintendent's report.
First off, January is Board Member Appreciation Month. And I just want to let you know that I personally appreciate your service to the community. A lot of people have a lot to say about your service in the community, but unless you sit in that seat, you don't fully understand the responsibilities that come with it. And it is a tremendously important position. You serve as a representative for many people and for our students as well. And I know that it's important work. Consistency in leadership is important. And I've been a part of boards that have been very transient and come and gone. That brings unrest to a district, it brings unrest to a community, and it also erodes confidence. So I appreciate your service. I hope you're fully committed to this and willing to serve through. It's really important in this role. Your role serves as a guidepost for our school and our community, and I do appreciate it, and I know many others do too. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
We have a couple of different things that are happening right now. We've got the track. The track is still, it's in motion. So all of that work is being done. We're being blessed with a little bit of warm weather. And I think next week they're going to start doing some heavier work just to make sure that we stay on pace and we are able to meet our marks through the summer. We don't want to get behind, so next week's looking like it's going to be in the 50s, so they're going to be able to do some additional work didn't plan on. So that's a good thing. The newsletter. I hope everyone in the room received the newsletter. If you live in the district, we're really happy with that. I know a lot of people contributed to it, but Abigail Rouse was important in putting everything together so that it fit within the parameters of what we could send. That was received well. We're going to be doing more of that. We're looking at some other tools that are similar, but may provide a different bit of access to the district. So those are going to be ongoing, and the response that I've received has been very good. So we want to continue to grow that. Building a relationship with our community is important, and those are some of the tools that we use. The next one I wanted to talk about, and we've talked a little bit already, is access to the ARC. I know this has been a bit of a point of contention for some. I have received at least one email asking for access to it at different times. Right now, we provide access to the ARC in the evenings, and it's in times when it's not being used by our students. And we also have it open to our Biddy League in the evening. And I don't know how you survived without it before you had it, as much use as it gets. It's used on a regular basis. One of the things that Kim and I have been talking about is whether we start charging for some of those uses. It was a community project, and it's open to the community. But I'd like to get some of your feedback on the access. I've checked with, I know of 2 other districts that have something similar to the ARC. They're different, obviously not the same. But having access to that kind of facility in both of the instances and both of the places I checked, they always have someone there while it's open. It's never just granted open access. And so for us to open it at other hours, we've got to look at ways to provide coverage or provide a stipend for someone to be there. But I'd be curious to hear what ideas you might have. We're probably not going to have answers today, but I do want to get the wheels spinning on, is there something that we can do? The window that was asked about was in the morning, between 5 in the morning and 7 in the morning, before kids come in. Right now, it's open 6 or 8 to 10 for the community.
So we do have students that use it in the morning on like winter weightlifting for football or workouts like that, or do we not?
I don't know that students are using it during the morning hours until 7:45 when we open and we start classes.
Okay.
Do any staff?
I'm in there occasionally in the early mornings. I've seen others come and go, but not many. There's not a lot of use in the mornings early. Not a lot of early morning people is what I'm finding. I might be an oddball in that way.
But staff have access to it, just like they have access to the building.
Yes.
So if someone is on staff, they can use that
Yes.
without, they're not the public.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm happy to, I know it actually happened 2 days before shutdown of all things. There was a meeting about this that involved staff, administration, the art committee, the athletic director. I sat in on that virtually while I was in the conference. But there was a great deal of talk about this conversation, like how do you open it up? And I know out of that group, Jerry, were you on that? Yeah, I was about to say you were on that. There was a great deal of conversation about how do you open it up. There was I just heard voices, so I would say it sounded like the majority of people were against a fee to open it up, paying for a pass per se.
I don't know, I mean, I think it's doable. I really do. I mean, I think people would pay $10 a month, whatever.
Right, but I'm just saying at that time, there was some resistance to charging for admittance.
Trying to get volunteers in there to be in there when the people came in and stuff, and then they said, well, it wouldn't be fair to volunteers, they should be paid and all that stuff.
Right,
But, you know, I do know that when, I mean, we all remember, I mean, it was kind of promised that the public could use it, right?
right,
That's the way it was sold.
Yeah, and really now it's 8 to 10, Monday through Thursday nights. And not a lot of public people, I mean, I think it's mostly young kids going in there playing basketball, 8 to 10. So, you know, people, I mean, I think they would use it more than what they knew they could. I mean, older people get up early, and they would be up, I think, and come in and walk, especially when it's really either cold out or hot out. But I think they would pay to use it.
and then.
That's our opinion.
Right, and I would say, I mean, I wasn't in the room, I was just on the conference call, so would you say that, and then, Mark, did I get your hand signal right? Do you mind going to the, because I'm looking at you, because you were in that room. What would you, because I know I have in my notes that there seemed to be an opposition to have it open without supervision.
Yeah, I remember there were so many people in that meeting, and each of them had different opinions, and so now, I mean, that was, what, 3 years ago?
3 years
4
ago,
years
yeah.
ago? So, I think a lot has changed. So, I mean, I think we could look at, like I said, I'm pretty sure people would pay to use it. And in that way, you could pay to, you know, have somebody in there with that money coming in. I mean,
I know there was talk about birthday parties, being able to rent it out. There was a whole
well, yeah,
slew
doing
of-
that stuff. I mean, I'm just talking about really the people going in there, being able to walk, and
Right,
exercise.
yeah, I
and-
know.
I mean, you can make extra money by doing that, but I don't know if you could do like having birthday parties. I'm not so sure that's a key thing. I think it's just people want to go
Right.
in there and walk, and maybe, I mean, you know, the weight room was a tough sell, because, you know, you definitely want somebody in there when you got other people in there. You didn't want the kids in there by themselves. But I mean, I just know I've had a lot of people talk to me now and say, I can't believe that we can only go in there 8 to 10 on a Monday night or Tuesday night. And some of these people get ready to go to bed. So, I mean, I think we might be surprised how many people would pay to go in there and might be able to make a little extra money. You'd have to advertise and get it out that we were gonna do that,
Right.
but I mean, that's
And-
my,
It would also have to fit around, though, because we do rent it out to the Biddy League, we rent it out to a whole series of organizations. So we'd have to also go around their schedule and the student schedule. One of the reasons
Right.
why it might not only be available in the evenings at that time period is
Yeah.
because it's
but
being
in
used.
the morning, 5 to 7,
Yeah.
there's not gonna be
There aren't
any
kids
groups,
up-
they're not gonna, yeah, they're not gonna
up
be in there. And, you know, a lot of people like to use on the weekend, but,
No, as far as rental, I don't know that there's ever been charges applied for the use.
I think like the volleyball, they used to have the volleyball groups, whatever it is,
Dan,
and
would
they
you-
got charged.
I don't know if you can speak to that better than I can.
I'm
Have
not
to
sure.
look into it, yeah.
I haven't seen any charges come through since I've been here, but.
I wasn't involved,
not to say that
this is
there
before my time, but if if what Jay's telling me, it was sold to the public as they're going to be able to use this, and we need you guys to support this, then I think they should have the opportunity to use it. Is there a way to do a hybrid system to where it's open to the public at those later hours, but if they want to come in early, can we have some fee to do that, possibly to cover the extra cost?
I mean, we could apply a fee.
Well, but I'm just
We would
saying,
have to come-
I don't, you know, if the district sold this to the community as, hey, you help us build this, and you're gonna have the opportunity to use this, and the understanding was it was not going to be a fee, but you're part of the district, you're paying taxes, you're gonna be able to use it. I mean, if that's the way it was sold, then I think we ought to stick with what we told them. But
letting
at the
them
same
use it.
time,
Yeah.
if we're gonna say, we're gonna add some extra hours, maybe we do charge a fee for those extra hours, but still offering the free time as well for people that, I just think if the board said we're gonna do something, we should probably stick to it.
I'm not sure that at that, I wasn't part of the early part of it. I'm not sure how much it was thought out about what would be free and what would need to, like if they ever would have people in there without staffing. And that's the issue here.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, I don't know, I wasn't part of the discussion. I don't know
Yeah.
what the board, the district told the public when that was being built.
I think
Was
it would be tough
understanding-
to have like a free time and then not a free time. I think
Right.
that'd be really confusing to people.
Okay,
One of the tenets of opening it up was that we would have somebody down there for the sake of liability, so I don't think we would ever shy away from that, but
Right.
if we can find times, it can't hurt to open it
but
up
I guess my
more.
concern is, was it sold, did the public understand that you're gonna be able to use it because you're a taxpayer and you're supporting this?
It
Sold
was
is the
sold.
key word, and that has many,
Okay, when the board and
It
district
was- it
told the
was
public
said-
this is what we want to do, was it, you guys are gonna be able to use this without extra fees, or that wasn't discussed necessarily?
when we discussed it, we never actually said there would be a specific fee for users. We did say that we were going to treat it like other spaces within the district, where, for example, if you want to, you can rent out the field, any of the fields, for example, for a fundraiser, or for running a tournament. Same thing with the gyms.
Yeah.
So we did say that that would still apply more than likely, but maybe it didn't happen. But we never said anything yay or nay about extra fees. We did say, though, that we would do whatever we could to make it available
Okay.
for folks to be able to use it.
Okay.
I remember there was a lot of talk like yoga classes, refit and all that stuff like that, and, where they would be a charge to rent it out for those things, but for the public, I mean, just, I mean, it was kind of promised.
No, it was.
I mean,
I mean, whether we want to say promised, sold, or
Yeah,
whatever,
what-
the
yeah,
fact
it was-
was, it was
yeah.
advertised that it was going to be available to the public.
Yep.
And I'm not a fan of changing what we've advertised. Now, if we've got some issues that we have to address, let's address them. I mean, if there's
well, the
things-
time's really the issues. I mean, like.
If it's time, we can work around that, but I mean, if access to it is the question, what's the problem? Do we
Because
have
right
a
now it's
problem
open 8 hours a week.
other
each.
than 2 hours a
Right.
week, or 2 hours a day?
It'd be the
What is
extra-
the problem?
It'd be the extra cost of the supplemental, I guess.
Do we have
And if we're-
supplemental
if
down
we're-
there now?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's a janitor that covers
It's,
it.
we have a custodian
Right.
go there, and the custodian's there for 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
So we do the same thing, whatever that extra cost would be. And if we're not charging for rental as it is now with groups, we start doing that, we've already covered the cost. Because I can speak from personal experience, the cost is not that much to rent a field, for example, for an entire day or weekend. It's not that much to do any of the other spaces too, so it's a nominal fee, but if we started doing that, we would, even with the nominal fee, we'd probably cover our costs, would be my guess. Kim would know better, given time to actually look at it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I wasn't aware
but that would be,
So I guess that's one
I'll get
thing we
you there.
need is, what's it cost us to do it? So
Yeah,
we're
I'm not-
looking at what's the cost to open it for 2 hours more
2 hours in the morning.
in the morning?
And the majority of the money for that building was private donations. I think we
Right.
need to be mindful of that. I mean, more than 50% of the money came from the public. Now, however we want to define public, but it didn't come from school funds. So, you know, again, if,
What was
We
the
want
cost
it-
of that building?
oh, don't ask me. I'm the wrong person to ask.
If I'm not, I
got
think
it.
it was like 3.6 mil. And there was 3.6 million, and there was about a 1.8 on each side, once all things were said and done.
You've got a good point, Jay, that a lot of that money did come from the community. However, since it opened, 100% of the operating costs have come from school money, so.
Well, legally, it had, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
the
but we-
building
we
was
have to-
accepted. The boosters took on the project.
Yeah,
That was done by the athletic boosters.
and they
Yeah,
moved
the board didn't touch it. They were just kind of hands off. So there were some key individuals that shaked, like politicians, kissed babies and shook hands and rattled the money tree, and God bless them, some fell to the ground, and we got a hold of it through the boosters. And that's why I say the majority of that money for that building was outside donations. And right, wrong, or indifferent, I mean, all along, it was promised as a community building.
And a lot of community members worked on it and built it.
Yeah, there was a lot of key
Yeah.
community involvement in the construction of that building to get it to where it's at a fraction of the cost of bidding it out like a lot of people do. and
It
just
would've been a
have
lot
out. That's why
more.
it took so long. I mean, it got drug out a long time, but we saved quite a bit of money. I say we, that the boosters, the way they approached it saved us a ton of money in the long run and got us a better facility for the dollar.
So you couldn't build it for what it costs today?
No way.
Nowhere near.
Nope.
Is it used all day long for the kids at school?
Yeah,
So they're
I mean, it's utilized throughout the day.
It's really utilized all the way till 8 o'clock.
Into the evening, yeah,
Yeah,
8 p.m.
Yeah.
so we'll come up with costs,
Yep.
what we'll be looking at. and See if we can come up with a little more information. We'll keep talking about it.
But staffed.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. I had just a couple other things I wanted to mention real quick. One thing I know, Blake, or Mr.
Blake is fine.
Blake's
Blake is fine.
Blake spoke a little bit about the donations coming in for the meals, for lunches for kids. And those are to cover some of the debt that our kids have incurred. Right now, the debt of our student lunches is about $6,700. And I guess that's high. I'm not familiar, okay, I'm new to the district, so I guess that's higher than what it's typically been. So we're gonna change some of our notifications, and we're gonna be more vigilant about notifying parents when they're out of money in the cafeteria. We wanna make sure kids get fed, okay, that's important. But we wanna make sure that their parents and families are paying for their meals. Some of it comes down to just completing paperwork. In many instances, families can complete paperwork for free and reduced lunch, and that will cover the costs. And that is, some of that's a pride thing with families, I understand that. But some of it is also informational in that they didn't know that they could. So I'm hoping that we can get some things out to families so we can make a bigger dent in that. But right now, it stands at about $6,700. And that's all that I have at the moment.
This special presentation by Neil Reynolds on the CRA legislation, that unfortunately had to be postponed till next board meeting. Received notification just prior to this meeting. So I didn't see if anybody else signed up. I don't think. No, all right. For the consent agenda, any items need to be removed? I'm just, under item E, school operations, I'd like to take item 1 and move it to item B under items for board approval. Any other,
I would like to make a couple comments. We did have another family who just called me yesterday and was kind of inspired by Tammy's family and the donations for the lunch. And they had a friend pass away and they would like to send in donations as well. So that family is Ada Pratt's family. So I'd like to note that.
and thank you, sorry, but thank you and for thinking of our community at the same time.
And then Dan would like me to give a little update that he sent out the remind. He's already got 2 people signed up for class and 1 more he's interviewing. So he would like to thank you, that really helped.
Awesome.
Share that.
That's great news.
That's it.
All right, roll.
We got a motion?
Oh.
Sorry.
I'll make the motion for the
sorry.
consent agenda.
Thank you.
There we go.
Second.
Second.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. Items for board approval. It is recommended the Board of Education grant the enclosed request from Circle B Designs and Boutique for use of the district name, logo, and mascot. So moved.
Seconded. This is just for discussion,
This
right?
is discussion.
Seconded.
Okay. For those that are wondering, we had a request to use the Spartan logo by
A local business.
a local business, and they were looking for approval to use the Spartan name and be able to help teams do fundraising and other things.
And give 10% back to the school quarterly.
Correct.
That's 10% of
The profits.
Pros.
profits. Yes.
Sorry.
Just want to make sure.
Yep.
Everybody understood that.
So do we have any other agreements with other people? Some background?
It looks like there had been some agreements and they've expired and it doesn't look like they have been renewed. I did find one starting back in 18 with Zones.
Mhm.
I contacted them. They currently don't have one with us. Of course, they keep selling, so.
Mhm.
But we did get payment in 18 and 19 from Zones. That's the only one I found.
And there's
And
no
it was
issue,
the same 10%. It was the same.
and there's no issue with doing that for 2 or more businesses?
No, we wouldn't have an exclusive deal with anyone.
Just wanted to make sure.
Did we get paid just those 2 years for that contract? Is that what you're saying? Okay, but nothing since? Okay.
Should probably.
We
at
need
least
to address
renew
that.
with them, shouldn't we?
We
I
should-
would think.
Yep, we should go through our
I think
contracts
we
or
should
anyone
look at
that
the
we had and
agreements and-
reestablish
Yeah.
those.
Especially
Yep.
if we're voting on a new business and charging them 10%,
Yeah,
because it is a trademarked
right,
logo
it's
now.
trademarked, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I guess it is kind of a charge. I was thinking, no, they're giving it to us, but that's a charge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you're
went
giving them
through,
business,
what,
yeah.
20, that was like our first year, Josh,
Yeah,
like
it was-
2017 or something, we
Yeah.
trademarked the logo.
Oh, no, I remember that, but no, you're, nothing. It was just a
Yeah.
different way of looking at
Hmm.
the 10% back.
Yeah.
Roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. Under item B, we have approved the enclosed MOU with ALEA regarding the work year and day.
That is related to the calendar. We are making, you guys blessed us with the ability to have professional development days this year, but we have to modify the contract to be able to make some significant changes in how we're doing our work for the following year. So next year, we want to make some changes, do a little more PD. I think it's really important. I mean, we're educators, we should be learning just as much as our kids. So the changes that in the MOU are going to allow us some flexibility.
Moved.
Seconded.
Discussion. Roll.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Abstain. We have business initiated by board members. There is something I just wanted to bring up, see if there's any interest. There is two, as I just looked and saw another one, two OSBA board meetings available. One is Board Member 101, which is a Saturday, January 21st. It's down to a one-day. This is something we all attended our first year, mine and Lucy's first year. And it was very helpful to the point that I was debating doing it again. But then Josh had sent me that there's actually a 201 in February. And I wanted to make and see if anybody had any interest in trying to make those work to their schedule and just make sure everybody was aware of those. I need to look, but I am going to try and clear my schedule to make the February board member 201 if anybody would like to join, and share the mileage up and back. If anybody's interested,
If I can make it work, I
you
would.
can make it work.
What's the February date?
I had it and
Is it early in the month or later?
I
in
think
the
it's
month?
middle. I think I want to say, I thought it was February 21st, but now that this says January 21st, I feel like I've got them mixed
Yeah,
up.
I don't know if I can do it.
Okay, I have it. It's just it says it just dives deeper into the issues that 101 does, as well as current issues that are facing. There we go. 2/11, so February 11th,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and at the OSBA downtown Columbus. Okay, so just put it out there, on your calendar. So, but I can't tell you that the board member 101 was fun. I know I can't make the January 21st. Looking at dates, but I would highly suggest it. Board reports. Public participation in non-agenda items. I don't think we had any. Yeah.
I've got one other thing, and shame on me for forgetting to say this in my first opening remarks. Want to thank the VFW. Brian Johnson from the VFW came to meet me back before we left for break. And he gave us $20 gift cards to every district employee. That's remarkable. I mean, we have 216 employees. So that is a significant contribution to our district, and it is very much appreciated. So much so that Mr. Lee, or Mr. Raines back there, has taken the point to organize a team for the polar plunge that the VFW hosts, and we do have a team. We're going to have at least 10 people together, and we're going to take the dive. It's going to be brief, but we're going to take the dive for the polar plunge over Lake Snowdon, and we'll welcome anyone else who wants to participate. So
What's the date of that?
that is February 4th. That is not July 4th when it's warm. That's February 4th.
And they have plenty of emergency people on staff in their wetsuits in the water,
Yes.
so.
So there you go. No, I meant to say
Should
that
be safe.
earlier, completely slipped my mind, but the VFW has been a big supporter of Alexander Local Schools, and I want to thank them for that.
Thank you for that, and thank you for remembering that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, just quickly, the VFW, they've supported this school in many fashions. The one I know Miss Ball and I, probably near and dear to us, is they're one of the top scholarship givers to our seniors each year as well. So here over the last, oh, good golly, 5, 6, 7 years, they've reached out to me and donated a sizable amount to contribute to AFF every year to increase that scholarship that our seniors get. So, yeah, it goes without saying that the VFW has supported this school a lot, in a lot of silent ways that we also don't recognize or know about. But, yes, thank you.
All right. On that, we have an executive session for employment of an employee or official.
So moved. Second.
There will be no action taken after.
Yes, there will be no action taken afterwards.
Jay,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
Blake.
Yes. black pen, all right?
Okay. All right, no blue, right?
Right.
If you're on the golf side, it's shallower and stuff.
Was I sitting here before? Oh, yeah,
You
there's
were.
that.
Maybe he'll see some manatees.
Right.
Coral Springs, that's where you go for that, Brandon.
Okay.
All right, the time is 8:55. We are back from executive session. We need a motion for adjournment.
Made.
Second.
Roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. We'll see you. Our next board meeting would be, I gotta look at it. Is it the 8th? Oh, it's one of those right on the dots, huh? 8th, February 8th at 7 PM.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's why we announced it. There's no